Hello children, welcome to the second video of Electoral Politics. In first video, children, I had explained you about Haryana election system and its future. Children, in this video, we will try to understand our country's electoral system and types of election held in our country and electoral competition related to it and about the number of constituencies in our country. Before we know this, first, let's know about our country's political structure. After independence, 1947, our country declared itself sovereign, democratic, and republic state of our country. That's why our country is the Republic of India. After carefully consideration and discussion, a federal republic with a parliamentary system of government was set up in our country and we made our capital New Delhi. Children, in federal system, powers are divided among the national government, the state government and the local government. It is also known as federalism, which you will study in 10th class. And in this system, the national government is relatively centralized. And second point, federal government control the most essential government functions like first defense, foreign policies, taxation, public expenditure, and last fifth, economic planning. Means the central government makes 5-year plan for the country's development. Now, if you see in this, what is our system of election? Then children, question arise about our election system. How in a democratic country elections are held and what are the role of institutions and parliament and the election commissioner. Let's see one by one. Firstly, see the legislative body of a country. The legislature, children, refers to a group of people who vote for new laws. Means legislature, they makes law. Each person in the legislature is usually either elected or appointed. This is called a bicameral legislature. In bicameral parliament, there are two houses. You can see the photo of parliament also. So there are two houses, Rajya Sabha, Council of State, and Lok Sabha, House of the People. Let's see more detail about the Rajya Sabha. Children, you are seeing Rajya Sabha is also known as Council of the State and the upper house. You can see the photo of Rajya Sabha, red carpet, all that seats. Later on, I will explain about it also. Next is this Rajya Sabha is also known as upper house. If you see in detail, Rajya Sabha, in this house, there is not more than 250 members. Means there are not more than 250 members and 12 members are nominated by the President of India and the rest are indirectly elected by the state legislative assembly. Example, you have seen in the parliament also in Rajya Sabha, Rakesh Sinha and Sachin Tendulkar are nominated by the president. The Council of State cannot be dissolved. Children, these elected members of Rajya Sabha have terms of 6 years and you will be surprised to know that 1/3 members retired at the end of every second year. In this, children, you will come to know about Lok Sabha. It is also known as the House of People. Means MP, Member of Parliament of different states are being elected and they sit in the Parliament. You can see Parliament where these elected MP used to sit. So it is clear and they run and rule over us and represent our country all over the world. So this is also known as lower house. First point, you can see Lok Sabha. It is clear to you, written House of the People. There are 545 members who are elected by our people in our country and 2 are appointed by the President of India. Children, here I am talking about MPs, not MLA. And the rest are directly elected from single member districts for the 5-year terms unless dissolved or unless 5-year period gets over. Moreover, Lok Sabha elects its presiding officers. You have seen in the parliament. This presiding officer is also known as speaker. Now, let's see the meaning of electoral constituencies. Children, in India, we are following an area-based system of representation. For this purpose, countries divided into different areas for the purpose of election. These areas are called electoral constituencies, and each electoral constituencies have a roughly equal population living within area. For Lok Sabha election, the country is divided into 543 constituencies. The representative elected from each constituencies is called a member of parliament or MP, and plus 2 are elected by the president, which I have explained you earlier also. Children, each state is divided into a specific number of assembly constituencies. The elected representative of the state is called the member of legislative assembly or MLA. Each parliamentary constituency has within its several assembly constituencies. The same principle is applied in the municipal panchayat election. Children, listen again. In the municipal and panchayat election, each village or town is divided into several wards like constituencies. Sometimes these constituencies are counted as seats. Each constituencies represent one seat in the assembly. Example, in Haryana election, you have noted down, Lokdal won 60 seats in Haryana. It means that candidate of Lokdal won 60 assembly constituencies in Haryana. Thus, Lokdal had won 60 MLA. Means 60 MLA had won the election in the state assembly in 1987. In first video, I have explained you. Let's see Lok Sabha constituencies in India map. Are you seeing, children? See it very carefully. In our country, total constituencies there are how many? 543. At the top right hand you can see, and the general seats are how many? 412. In white color rectangular box you can see, and reserved seats are 84, means scheduled caste. These are the seats are reserved for the categories people. Then you can see reserved seat for scheduled tribe are 47. Like this, total become 543, and 2 seats which are left out of 545 are that 2 seats are elected by president. Let's see, children, number of constituencies in India. So you can see the innumerable state constituencies are there. So I will tell you about top 5 where maximum constituency seats are there. Of MP I am talking. Don't get confused. Here we are discussing about member of parliament. And first, the largest state where maximum seats are there. Number first, Uttar Pradesh having 80 seats. Second, Maharashtra 48. You can see easily. And third, West Bengal 42. Then fourth, Bihar 40 seats. And in Tamil Nadu 34. So Tamil Nadu's rank is 5th. And if we talk about Union Territory, children, you will be surprised. Andaman, Nicobar, Chandigarh, Dadar, Nagar Haveli, Lakshadweep, all having one seat. So I think it is clear. And in Delhi, we have 7 state constituencies. So in this from table, it will be more clear to you, children. If you compare or if you do comparison of one state with another state, you can see innumerable states are there, and in one box Rajya Sabha seats are there, in next box Lok Sabha seats are there. If you see first Andhra Pradesh, means Rajya Sabha seat how many are there? 11, and whereas in Lok Sabha seat they have 25. Arunachal Pradesh 1 and 2. if you let's talk about our Haryana's neighbor states. If you see Himachal Pradesh, Rajya Sabha seat how many? 3 you can see, and then Lok Sabha seat 4. If you see in Punjab Rajya Sabha seats are 7 and Lok Sabha 13. And whereas if we compare with Haryana, in Haryana we have Rajya Sabha seat 5 and Lok Sabha seat 10. Children, in our country, elections are held regularly after 5 years, and elections are held in all constituencies at the same time. This is called general election, which seems as a battle among all political parties, and because we having a multi-party system. So to understand in a better way about election only, let's see different types of election in India and try to differentiate between general election, the by-election and midterm election. So first let's see the general election. The Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha State Assembly election are held regularly every 5 years. The Lok Sabha or Vidhan Sabha stand dissolved when elections are held in all constituencies at the same time, either on the same day or within few days. It is the fact that the first general election was held in 1952 and 15th Lok Sabha election held in April-May 2009. And recently, which election was held in our country, in which BJP party won the election and Mr. Narendra Modi become Prime Minister. Do you know which Lok Sabha election it was? It was 17th Lok Sabha election, which held in 2018. So next, if you see by-election. By-election is the election which is held only for one constituency to fill the vacancy caused by death or resignation of a member. This is called by-election. Means if some elected member, if he died in between, then these types of elections is being held. If you see, third types of election is midterm election, when the Lok Sabha or State Assembly may be dissolved before its term of 5 years is before. Midterm polls is required to constitute a new house. In fact, the expression midterm election has no legal significance because election to the Lok Sabha is invariably called the general election. Means that Lok Sabha election which take place in our country after every 5 years, that is only called general election. Now, question arise, children. Is it good to have a political competition? So to know this, it can be divided into two parts to understand that in a better way. First, we will see the demerit of political competition and then merit of political competition. First, if you see demerit, first point, clearly an electoral competition has many demerits and leave bad impact on the society also. If you see second point, it creates a sense of disunity and factionalism in everyday society like casteism, Hindu-Muslim factionism. Third point, if you see, candidates and parties use dirty methods for winning election. So you have noticed also this, different leaders often level allegation each other or against one another. You have seen many discussion or conversation on TV also. Because of this, children, people who wants to serve the country and avoid entering this field owing to unhealthy competition. So that's why they do not like the idea of being dragged into unhealthy competition. Children, our constitution maker were aware of this problem, yet they opted for free competition in the election due to the merit of election. Means after all, if we see the merit of election, we will prefer this democratic structures only. So if you see first point, people will get the full right to vote and choose their representative. In no other non-democratic country, people will get right to vote. Means if we talk about monarchy, autocratic system, there people will not get right to vote. And their wish or their demands will not be reckoned. Means that the autocratic country, their demands, their needs will be ignored. If second point, you see, the country which has adopted the election procedure is also counted in democratic country. Just like India, we have a democratic structure, and after every 5 years, elections are being held. So here people's fundamental rights are being protected by the government. If you see third point, it helps to the elected representative to go out and serve the country and the countrymen. Last point, after the people get the right to vote, they are considered as equal. Means children, their vote is equal to the president vote. That's why you can see in the world map many countries in blue color. Children, are you seeing blue color? Can you identify countries? Later on, you just identify all these countries in a blue color opted democratic structure because of these merits only. And if you see in this cartoon or images, you can see the role of voters and the leaders, how leaders make bundle of promises. You can see that man carrying a bundle, it is full of promises, means they have promises to their people. But how people threaten leaders? By showing their votes power. So, children, at last, if you see the merit of political competition in perspective of leaders, if you see first point, regular electoral competition provide incentive to political parties and leaders and the desire to advance their political career. Means leaders, they took as a political competition as their career. Second point, they know that if they raise issues that people want to be raised, their popularity and the chance of victory will increase in the next election. If they fail, they can't win the next election. Means political party wanted to remain in power. Every election they wanted to win. If you see third point, in any party is motivated only by desire to be in power, even then it will be forced to serve the people. If leader willingly or unwillingly being elected by the people, they have to work for the people, for the welfare of the country. If you see fourth point, political competition may cause division and ugliness, but it finally helps to force political parties and leaders to serve people. My dear children, this means electoral competition is a bit like the way market works. Listen it how the market works. Example, even if a shopkeeper is interested only in making his profit, more and more profit, he is forced to give good services to the customer because he don't want to lose the customers. Losing the customer means bringing profit to the downfall. If he does so, the customer will go to some other shop. Same way, political leaders work for the needs and the aspiration of the people if he wants to remain in the power. Children, this what is the procedure or system of electoral politics and competition of our country. If children it is not clear, watch this video again, then I think everything will be clear to you. Till next video, children, take care, stay home and be happy. Okay, bye.